evening. Welcome back. Sorry I've been missing a few weeks again. Rota and whatever. But here we are. Tonight we're not going to be doing a massive project. What we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of little projects. But we're going to look at different ways of ebonising different bits of wood, using several different methods. We've got some that you can buy, some that you can make. And we'll look at different woods and how they work. Looking after you this evening, we have the one and only Mr. Wayne the Woodturner.
Good evening, everybody.
Possibly going to have Dale later on. I think he's just having dinner, but we'll see how we go. Let's go over to the lathe. And we'll show you what we've got on there. So, when we're ebonising woods, it works best with woods that have got high tannin content. So something like oak, walnut, cherry, mahogany. There was another one. I can't remember which, but I'm sure Wayne will let us know. Elm. And the reason I know it's elm is because we've got a bit of elm on the lathe at the moment. So what this is, I've turned this around already. This will end up as a crochet hook. It's one of the kits I've been doing. We've got a couple of them. We'll do different ways of ebonising this wood, and there's another wood that I'll put on shortly. And then we've got some other projects that we're going to do. So I will get started, and Wayne can let us know who's in.
Right, the participants list isn't very long, so I'll not go by that. I know we've got Gerard in, Brian with a Y, Robin's Buys and DIYs.
Hi, Robin.
Either Dan or Katie, or both of them from True Grit.
Hiya, guys.
Mark Stroughton's in. Staffordshire Black is in as well.
Hiya.
Shane Hurst is here. I think that's... Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's about it for now. Good evening, everybody.
So we're just going to do a simple shape on this. Those that follow me on Instagram and Facebook will have seen these are some of the kits I've been importing from China. They've been really popular. And this shape seems to be popular. So
And Jennifer's come in as well. Good evening,
hi,
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Now these kits have inserts that go in that give you crochet hooks from 7mm down to 3mm.
Right, Gerard's asked a question. If you have ebonising solution, what wood could you use? I think you mentioned a few there. What were they, Scott?
So it's woods with a high tannin content. I went and did some Googling last night. I know oak was one, and I know ash has got. There's a oh, I've gone through that there. Gone too thin. Okay, so we won't finish that one. That's the problem when you're turning kits. So yeah, oak, walnut, cherry, and mahogany. So elm as well. That kit will have to start again, but that's not a problem. That one I was just going to put my homemade ebonising solution on, which is distilled vinegar and a wire wool. Obviously, when you're doing stuff homemade in a workshop, you do have to be careful because of the fumes. But there are solutions out there now on the market you can buy. So Staffordshire Black is one I will be showing you later on an oak bowl. It's a kit that I brought a few weeks ago. I've used it on a few items now. I'm really impressed with it. There is, of course, as we'll do on this one, the Ebonising lacquer that you can get from Chestnut. Now that's more of a paint. It doesn't actually use the tanning content.
You don't really have to just use wire wool with vinegar. You can use anything that's got iron in there, the likes of screws, the likes of nails, stuff like this. As long as you leave it standing for long enough. Some people do boil the vinegar before they put the stuff in. Another thing to use is, it's called fuming, and that uses an ammonia solution to actually fume the piece in. It tends to be that household ammonia doesn't tend to be strong enough, so you have to use something stronger, but it's a bit on the dangerous side and not recommended. A lot of years ago, I tried using ferrous sulfate tablets, iron tablets, and all I did was crush them up and dissolve them in water, and that worked.
Can you still buy them, Wayne?
What, ferrous sulfate tablets?
Yeah.
It's just iron tablets. Yeah.
So you like your health food shops?
No, you'd probably have to get them from a chemist.
Okay.
I don't think you have to have them on prescription. At least you certainly didn't when I bought them anyway.
There we go. All right. Let's do some sanding on that. So as I said, this one we're going to use the Ebonising lacquer on. I've not quite got that round, I don't think. Oh, there is. It's not quite round, but a little bit of sanding, that'll disappear. Now these kits I was importing, as I said, from China. I have been looking at possibly setting up a little shop for some different kits. I have found them now in the UK. They're available from a company called CS Crafts. So if people did want to try them, you can get them from there. And that's all I'll say on that one, because I think their price is ridiculous.
Gerard said he's got a small magnet at the bottom of the Pro Edge. It gathers all the filings from sharpening, and he throws them in a jar with vinegar, so he's got a constant supply.
Now
what I
there's an
tend to
idea.
do with the metal filings from my Pro Edge is actually stick them into black paint and turn them into metal reactive paint.
So that's just cellulose sanding sealer. I've got a magnet as well underneath mine. Mine's for turning defibs, internal defibs on and off. It's a nice strong magnet, but it works. So we'll just give that a minute to go off. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask. If I don't know, I'm sure Wayne will know. Now, because I'm going to use an ebonising lacquer, that I've put the sanding sealer on just to seal the wood. Otherwise, I'll have to give it more coats of the lacquer. And the lacquer is dearer than the sanding sealer. So I'll just denib this. This is just a white Weebrex pad. And because it's ash, we're just going to use a liming brush just to open the grain a little bit. We can try and get some coloured wax in there once with the lacquer.
And Barry Chitty's just come in.
Hiya, Barry. Let's try and get that top bit a bit. Okay. So, ebonising lacquer. This is from Chestnut. You've probably seen me use it before. Definitely seen Wayne use it before. Works better in thin coats.
Yeah, Gerard's asking a question. Liming brush question. Are the bristles soft or are they metal? They're actually brass.
Yeah.
Gerard. And what it does on woods like ash, like oak, things like that, it cleans out it cleans out the soft grain in the wood. Because there is, before people started doing the likes of embellishing waxes and things like this, there used to be a technique called liming. And there used to be a liming wax. That was about the only thing you could get at one time, was a liming wax, which highlighted the soft grain on open grain woods like ash and oak.
So I'm just using a heat gun here just to try and speed up the drying process. Again, you've heard me mention it, you've heard Wayne mention it. If you are using a heat gun to dry lacquers, make sure it's done at a distance. Otherwise, it will bubble the lacquer.
So Gerard again is asking, will they not mark the wood with the line? Not really. Brass is very soft.
No.
And it just tends to affect the soft grain within the wood.
There we go. Right. Let's go funky tonight. Let's use a wax that I haven't used in a long time. So this is the Hampshire Sheens Pink embellishing wax. Don't know how well that's showing up on camera. Can you see that in there?
Just.
What I'll do is the projects we do tonight, I will take photos of and put it up on all the socials. Okay.
There is another process out there for darkening wood, and that is called, it's actually called tanning. And I've seen some violin makers use this process where they actually use a UV light to darken the wood.
Okay. want a bit of cloth. So we're just going to take the excess off. And then just to protect the coloured wax that we've put in there, I'll put a coat of microcrystalline wax over the top of that.
Chris John has just come in.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for coming in. There we go. There's some microcrystalline wax going on there.
Right, at the moment, Scott is making a handle for a crochet hook. But really what he's doing tonight is showing different ebonising processes.
There we go. That's that one.
And Woodturning with Barry's just come in. Yeah, that's standing out a bit more now.
Yeah, I'll take the pen mandrel out and then hopefully we'll be able to see. I don't know how well you can see that now.
That's better, yeah.
There we go. So we will put that together as a kit in a bit. But as Wayne said, the main point of tonight is showing different ways of ebonising wood. So I have here, this is a piece of oak from Dale's. It's one of the offcuts from his workshop. I pre-turned it earlier on. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to use the stuff that I've made myself. So this was still vinegar and wire wool. It's been made probably 18 months. I don't know how well you can see it. It has gone a little bit rusty. But I did test it last night. It does still work.
So have you, right, once you've turned that, Scott, have you just sanded it? You've put no finish on there yet?
No, so there's no finish on there. That's purely sanded to 240. What we'll do is we'll put this on. We'll do another project while this is drying. And then we'll turn it inside and we'll finish that with True Grit and wax. So can you see, this is where I first started.
Yeah. Yeah, it's changing already.
Yeah. Smells beautiful. Not.
Now, one of the other things with the process of ebonising, one of the other things you can actually find out is if you have got a piece of oak or something like that that maybe you haven't bought as a bowl blank, maybe you've getting given from somebody. If there are any black areas on that particular piece of wood, it actually shows that there is either still metal in there or there has been metal in there.
So that's going really dark, really quick. And all I've done on here is this is just a baby's bottle.
No, sorry, Scott. It's just something Gerard's written. He had a bit of a typo there.
Would beef
ebonising that mixture.
I wouldn't want to put a cow on this lathe, especially not the price of beef nowadays.
Right.
So all I've done here is just a baby's bottle with a paintbrush, and I've just cut the teat so that stays like that, and you can tip it upside down and it doesn't leak. So, all right.
Now the next process I think that Scott is going to show using the Staffordshire Black. If you do have a piece of wood that has a low tannin content, What Scott has got here is a solution that is a tannin solution.
So,
but if you want to find out the woods that have really high tannin contents, if you go use your search bar, go to the wood database, and you will find just about any sort of information you can about wood within the wood database.
all I did last night was just
Yeah,
typed into Google woods with high tannin content.
I think Dan, I don't know if it's Dan or Katie, I think it's probably Dan, says steel kitchen utensils left on a solid oak work surface makes a mess. I would imagine it does.
I won't do that then. So here we've just got another bit of ash. Actually, we've done ash with the... No, I want ash for this one because I want to use the other solution. I have got a bit of cherry that we can do as well later on. Okay, so as I said, this is just a piece of ash. It's what I call a corporal blank. So it's got a 4mm hole all the way through, a little 6mm indent for the knot, and then it's turned on the Axminster corporal drive and just your normal live center. So let's... If this one comes out all right, it's going to be Mum's new bathroom.
Well, the new bathroom going to be black.
She's got grey and black, and my brother's doing it at the minute. She actually... There's the old one. She went, can you make me a new one? So we're just tying up. It is being turned friction. A bit more speed.
In case anybody hasn't seen the light pole drives, once you finish turning that, Scott, can you
Yep.
it?
I have got two, but the other one is in my demo box buried next door, so we'll show this one. There we go. So when you're turning using the light pull drive, the headstock end is the bottom end, so that's the end the knot will go, and the tailstock end is your end where the string comes in from the ceiling. Now you don't have to do these just for lights, you can do them smaller and pop them on blinds. When I first started turning back in 2015, Keith from Circular Wood by Keith was my mentor, and he turned up one day with a box of 50 blanks, and he said to me, there you go. He says, that will get you going. He says, I'll have 50 corporals. I have somewhere still got the first one. It's awful, but it's good to keep some of your first stuff so you can go back and look where you've come from. Okay. Why am I using that one for everything tonight? It is good as well when you turn in between centres from using friction, just to keep nipping it up. Again, like when you're turning kits, they've got a tube all the way through. You've got to remember this has got a hole all the way through it.
Barry Chitty said that's what Keith did to him as well.
I think that's what Keith does to everyone. And so much so, when I've had people around here for lessons, they're tiny bits of wood. You don't need a lot of wood for a cord pull. I know certainly Elaine that come round and David, they were all sent away with a box of blanks. And all the ones that David did, he's a vicar and he sold them all at his church fair. So I generally batch turn these. They do sell well at craft fairs. They're tiny. People can pick them up, put them in their pockets. And at £4.50, who's going to moan? So we'll sand this one up.
Chris is asking you, how is Keith?
So I spoke to him a few weeks ago. He seemed to be on the up. I'm actually going to ring him tomorrow because my wife wants some turn-ins for her nursery, and I'm not going to have time to do them. So I know Keith is still doing small little bits. So I'd
He has
rather
put a
help
couple
him
of
out.
posts out on social media just recently.
Yeah. But he turns lots of small little Christmas decorations that the kids can take away and decorate. If I'd had time, I'd do them, but I haven't. So I'd rather help a mate out, and I'll pay Keith to do them if he's up to it.
And Chris is saying, when you speak to him, pass on his best wishes.
I will do. I will do. Right. So there we go. That's sanded up to 240. Now, when you buy, I bought the Staffordshire Black kit. I think it cost me 25 quid. I'll show you what you get in the kit in a minute. But what you do get is a really good. Is that the right way around, or does it want to go no, the other way around? You really
That's upside down.
Yeah, you get a really good set of a workshop guide on how to do it. And the first thing it says on there is sand your piece to 400 grit. So we'll take that up to 400. I am going to skip 320, but
yeah, I usually do as well.
Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. And it don't go more than double. So if you've done 120 before, you shouldn't go more than 240 or something. They say don't go more than double or something. I think I was told once. I might be wrong. Okay. So that is now sanded to 400 grit. We'll just wipe all the dust off. So in the kit from Staffordshire Black, let's come back to this camera for a minute. It's easier to show you over here. In the kit from Staffordshire Black, you get a bottle of tannin juice. I'll explain how these are used shortly. A bottle of the Ebonising juice. You get a couple of glass jars so you can decant into smaller bits, and it's got a lid. So you can put some in there, seal the lids up, and keep them in, which is really good. And a couple of foam brushes. And as I said, a set of instructions. I've only been playing with these.
Just a couple of comments in there. Of comments in there, Scott. Chris has said, I think unbeknown to Keith, he's a mentor to a lot of people, some we never met, lol. And Barry Chitty has said he spoke to Keith on Saturday. He hasn't lost his sense of humour and he looks very well.
Fantastic.
And Wayne of the Big Feet has just come in, which means Valerie's probably watching as well. Hello. Good evening.
Right. So, as I was saying, if you want any more info on how to use Staffordshire Black, then they have got a YouTube channel. Or if not, check out Emma the Tiny Turner. I ordered it direct from Staffordshire Black, but I know Emma sells it as well. So if you want to support Emma, then head over to Emma. Right, okay. So we've sanded it to 400. It says raise the grain with water, dry it, and then sand it back lightly again. We'll skip that bit. We've removed the dust.
Yeah, can I just say that I hope Wayne hasn't got his feet up on the coffee table, otherwise Valerie won't be able to see the telly.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is ash hasn't got a very high tannin content. But with the Staffordshire Black, what you can do is use the tannin juice first. So just pop this on the wood. And this soaks in. And when you come to use the Ebonising solution, this enhances the tannins that are in there and makes it work. Now, not all Ebonising will turn the wood black. You can get it go purple, you can get it go grey. So let's pop that to a side. We'll give that for a minute.
And Doug Miller's just come in.
Hi, Doug. So it says using a brush to apply a generous coat of the Staffordshire Black to your workpiece and then allow to dry naturally. I am going to cheat a little bit tonight. And we're going to use a little bit of hot air again, just from a distance. This is on the lowest setting this heat gun goes. While you're doing this, you can rinse your brush out with water, and that allows you to reuse your brush. How are we doing on time? 8:30.
Staffordshire Black has just said, cheating is allowed in a live demo. Smiley face. Oh, sorry, wink.
Cheat? We're enhancing our viewers' time. So there we go. Right. Okay. So it's still a little bit damp. So I ordered this a few weeks ago, and on the projects I've used it on, I've loved it. I actually used it this week. I will show you. With the scroll saw work I do, I like to use a black backer. But when using spray paint, I find you lose the grain. So I thought I'd try the Staffordshire Black on a bit of birch ply. And I really like that. I don't know how well that's shown on camera, but you can still see
It
the
is
grain.
showing up, yeah.
I think that took 4 coats, but you can, it says in instructions, you can, if you don't get your desired effect, then just repeat the steps until you get your desired effect. And then that's had 1 coat of mineral oil on top of that. Right. So now that's dry, we'll use the second brush.
And Michael McEwen has just come in.
Oh yeah, Michael. We'll use the second brush and we'll put a coat on. You can already see that's starting to tan the wood, ebonise the wood. Wayne taught me yesterday that tanning and ebonising is something totally different. I'm glad he did, because I would
That
look like
actually
an
brings
idiot
out
tonight.
the soft grain very well.
Yeah.
And Rob's just come in from Clinspo.
Hiya, Rob.
And
So,
Kev at 9K Creations as well.
good evening, everyone. So again, it says allowed to dry naturally, but we are live. So we are going to use the heat gun again.
Stuart Ingrid's just come in.
Hiya,
And
Stuart.
Lewis, the Klondike Craftsman.
That's what we'll do, actually. Rather than dry that like that, we'll put that to one side and we'll go back to the bowl, and then I'll show you how that's dried naturally.
Right,
And
I'm
then...
just going to pop and top my glass up, and James Crawford has just come in.
Hiya. So we're going to take away the elbow stabber, because we're not going to need that. We'll pop this to one side to dry naturally. And then we'll just quickly, for those that haven't seen the light pool drive, as you see, mine's covered in paint and all sorts. It's a stepped drive, so you can have a hole in it, and then this pushes in on friction, and they're done, I believe, in 2 or 3 mil indents, and it will literally just push onto that. If you go a bit more, but they're not dear, and if you're going to do light pools, it's a lot easier than doing it between spiked centres. So let's pop this one back on the lathe. So this is the one that had the ebonising made with wire warm vinegar. It's still a little bit damp, but we'll heat this up. Now, when doing research for tonight's live, whenever I've ebonised wood with the homemade stuff, I've always put sand and sealer and wax over the top. But the YouTube videos I watched, the information pack from Staffordshire Black suggests
camera.
using...
Sorry, Scott. Can you move your camera a wee bit? It's just going off at the top. That's better.
How's that?
No,
Yes,
a little bit more.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's it.
So yeah, where was I? I was saying I normally put sanding sealer and wax over the top. But all the research I did, the reading up, the videos I've watched, the Staffordshire Black suggests a oil finish. So this is
Right,
just
okay.
Chestnut food safe oil.
Right. I've got a question for you, Scott.
Yep.
Seeing as how that's obviously a fluid finish, a vinegar and wire wool finish, does that not raise the grain? Does that not have to be knocked back?
It hasn't raised it that much, mate.
Okay,
Still
I
seems,
just thought I'd ask.
yeah, it still seems fine.
And in answer to Lewis's question from when I was going to top my glass up, surely, Lewis, you know me better than that.
What do you think you're topping up with? Coca-Cola?
Water.
Water?
Yeah.
I've
And
just seen
Dan,
Dan's comment.
yeah, Dan and Krugrid has said, we are currently sat packing up Woodturning's advent calendars. It was a great idea until we had to start packing them.
See, I cheated. I brought my wife's friend does the body shop. So I spent, I think it was about 40 odd quid on an advent calendar for her because she's worth it, you know. If it wasn't for my good lady wife, the house wouldn't run as it does. And then I showed her the advert for Dan's one, thinking, oh, I might be lucky. No, I got a chocolate one.
Robert Klingspor, and this is going back to actually knocking it back.
Yep.
Would you use a Scotch-Brite type material? Yes, I would. I'd use probably the orange one, which is around about 1200 grit. You do get a grey one, which is around about 1000 grit as well, but that's what I'd knock it back with.
So ideally, because we've put an oil on this, we should leave that dry before turning the centre out. But because it is an oil, it means I can go back, clean it, and put another coat on top.
Tipping it down here again.
It did earlier on when I had to take the dog to the
Doug
vet.
is asking you, Scott. Doug's asking, Scott, I assume your COVID is much better.
So, to be honest, I felt rough, but I haven't been as rough with people I know. Today I tested negative, but I still don't feel myself. But it is what it is. It's the joys of working for the NHS.
Yeah, Lewis has said they have a white one. This is referring back to the Scotch-Brite type material. That is like 4-0 steel wool. We've got the same, Lewis. Cherry or Chestnut sell a pack of 4. The green one, which is 240. The purple one, which is 600. The orange one, which is about 1200. And the white one, which isn't really is an abrasive. It's more for polishing, and that's over 2000. Brian has said, I don't drink water either, Wayne. And Lewis, I've seen what fish do in it.
Wine's got water in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's been boiled.
Yeah. So we're just going to make this just into a little bowl, little dish. It'll probably end up staying in the workshop and having little screws or bits thrown in it.
And Rob is saying, I think there's water and beer, or so I'm told. Yeah, there is, Rob, but again, it's been boiled.
So I did mean to say at the beginning of the live, pinned at the top of the chat is the link to my Buy Me a Coffee.
Oh,
you may
sorry, Scott, I forgot that.
No, that's all right, mate. That's all right. You may remember at the beginning of the month, I launched a new T-shirt that says "More than just a bowl man," which is what didn't want to do that. What someone that my wife met dog walking called me, and all the profits from those T-shirts and any Buy Me a Coffees this month, all that money is going to be donated to the Royal British Legion Poppy Appeal. It's something that's quite close to my heart. Having got friends that are veterans and working with the Veterans Centre down in Southampton, and unfortunately losing a few friends in conflicts, I've decided that anything from November is going to go to them. At the moment, there's just under $16 on the Teesprings from the T-shirts. So if anyone wants a T-shirt, the link for that is below. Or if anyone wants to just make a donation,
that equates to about £15.
Yeah. If anyone would just like to make a donation or buy me a coffee, any coffees that are bought will also go into that. And we'll run that up to the 30th, and then I'll donate all the money to the British Legion. Go a little bit deeper on that.
Kev's
it's a shame.
A couple of comments in
it's a shame because I'm well impressed with the tool finish.
Kev said he's got to see this brandy mac is sitting down nicely, and he got some cheap brandy in Spain, and it tastes much better with ginger wine in it.
I don't drink brandy. If I drink spirits, it's normally a whiskey.
I do like a nice drop of Asbach once in a while.
Cool. All right, let's sand that. Plug in the sander miter. And then all we're going to do with this is just give it a wax finish. So you have the ebonized wood on the outside and the natural wood on the inside.
And Gerard's gone off brandy. He prefers Armagnac now.
And because I got a really good tool finish off that, I started straight there at 120, and we're now going to go to 240. And then after doing the finishing course with Martin, I'll always just use a bit of denatured alcohol just to clean out the grain, or methylated spirits if you're over here.
And for everyone who is over in the States, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how many turkeys have been consumed today. So that was just Chestnut's, it's that camera in it, acrylic sanding sealer. And we're now, Dan will probably shoot me, but rather than open the new pot, I'm still using the sample pot. We're going to use True Grit. To do that. So with the piece stopped, just apply a piece all over the wood. I'm very lucky and thankful to be supported by True Grit and have helped with testing. And I must say, I'm really impressed with it. To the point, some pieces I've done, and I've not wanted to put a wax over the top. I've been so happy with the sheen left.
Yeah, Gerard's talking about the avian flu and the amount of turkeys that have had to be killed over in Ireland. I think that's been the same in the UK as well.
Yeah,
Gerard.
I think anyone that's got
Doug's got to go. He will watch the rest of it later.
Cheers, Doug. Yeah, anyone that keeps any sort of bird at the moment in the UK, whether that's a budgie, chickens, anything like that that was outside, they've now got to be housed inside because of the avian flu. So we'll just work this in for a couple of minutes with the same cloth we applied it with. If you haven't seen True Grit yet, then head over to the Facebook pages, True Grit Finishes, made in Yorkshire. There is a website, and also you can find it on the Taylor's Murfield website as well. I know there's a YouTube channel, but I'm not sure if Dan's got any contact on there yet.
I'm not too sure on that one. Certainly they're on Insta as well.
Yep.
And Chris Charlton's got to go as well. He's got to be up early in the morning.
Cheers for popping in, Chris.
And Rob has said, referring back to the avian flu again, is that eggs are being rationed now?
Yeah, I saw some of the supermarkets are doing that.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time?
Yeah, Dan said there's no content on the YouTube channel yet. Oh, sorry, how are we doing on time? 7 minutes to 9. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see the sheen on that already? Just from the True Grit and the sanding sealer. Love it. Okay, so we'll put a coat of microcrystalline wax on top of that. And then we'll...
Hey, Dan is putting the YouTube channel in the hands of Katie. That's her job.
All right. Well, she is Britain's youngest RPT member, so congratulations and well done to her. There we go. So that's just some microcrystalline wax.
Yeah, Gerard said it's okay. No turkey at Christmas for him. He sees it and cooks it and carves it nearly every day of the week. Christmas dinner is either a blue steel or a magritte duck or leg of lamb.
It's probably going to be a bowl of porridge for me because I'm on nights over Christmas. And I don't want to be getting up after sleeping to Christmas dinner. I will, however, make sure one's plated up so I can take it to work and microwave it at some point during the night.
I'm not sure what we're doing for Christmas. Did we make a decision, Jane, about what we're doing dinner-wise for Christmas? No, we haven't decided.
Haven't decided yet. No, I'll turn the bottom off later. Let's take that off. All I'll do later on is I'll just flip that over and take the tenon off the bottom. What I wanted to see is how the Staffordshire Black has worked. So there we go. Simple little bowl, and that is using vinegar and wire wool. Right, I want that back on.
Wayne of the Big Feet has said, I was named after John Wayne. Funnily enough, Wayne, so was I. And he was in True Grit, which is probably why he made such a good cowboy builder.
Okay, let's come back to that one. So that's the Staffordshire Black on ash. That's had one coat of the tannin juice, one coat of the ebonising juice. If I wanted to go darker with that, then what I'd do is I'd put another coat of tannin juice on top, let that dry, and then another coat of ebonising, and just keep building that up until I get the colour I want. Now I quite like this grey, and I know that the units in my mum's new bathroom are grey. So we're going to leave it at that. And what we're going to do is we're going to just apply another coat of the food safe oil, only because I've got it out. If you've got lemon oil, you could use that. Danish oil. All it says on the instruction is pop that black and bring it to life with a penetrating finish like oil. It does say that sand and sealer works well if you want, but having used oil on the backer,
Kev saying it's looking nice.
let's stop being like Wayne from Yorkshire and being tight with my finish. Christmas is coming. I can always, well, no doubt I'll get Axminster or St. gift vouchers. I like the way, as you said earlier, Wayne, it's just depicted the grain more. It's not coloured the whole piece.
It has. It's brought out the soft grain.
To that
really
grain,
nice.
isn't it? So right. So that's that one. I wanted to do it on a couple of woods. So we've done oak, we've done ash. Let's very quickly try cherry. I don't want to keep everyone too long, but we can knock out a corporal in a couple of minutes. And we'll have a look at how the Staffordshire Black works on a piece of cherry. Now, there's probably some people there go, he's colouring cherry. It's not something I do all the time. And I'm only doing it tonight because it was one of the woods that was recommended as having a high tannin content. So this is just a piece of cherry branch that's been knocking around in my workshop for, I don't know how long. I don't even know where it comes from. I found it at the back of the cupboard last night. So make sure that's nice and tight. That's up. Now I am going to stand off to the end because it's a branch and it's got bark on. The chances of it flying off and hitting you are pretty high. So let's avoid that. I'm just going to stand off to one end.
And Wayne said it came from a cherry tree, Scott.
Well, you would never have guessed that, would you? I just don't know which cherry tree or where. I know I got some from a neighbour, but when you try and dry cherry, it has a habit of cracking. It's actually quite a light bit of cherry.
It is, isn't it?
And it's marked cherry, and I would have said from the bark it was cherry. But you can see the branch
Now,
wasn't overly bent.
Rob has asked an interesting question there. How long between cutting from the tree would it be dry enough to turn? That all depends on what you want to do, Rob. You can turn it when it's really green or wet, which I like to do because green wood actually cuts better than dry wood. But for hardwoods, as an average, hardwoods dry an inch thickness per year. Softwoods tend to dry around about 6 months, inch thick per 6 months. We had a conversation in one of my lives, probably a couple of months ago, about how dry wood should be before it actually goes in the house. And there was a couple of cabinet makers actually in the live that night. And what they tend to do is get wood down to around about 68% dryness. And even then, wood will move. All depends on the humidity of the house, how dry it is. Yeah, so a 10-inch piece of wood, a 10-inch piece of hardwood, Rob, would take around about 10 years air drying to get down to workable, which is why for a lot of woods that are air dried, they'll probably go to 4 or 5 inches thick. For a lot of woods that are kiln dried, they probably won't go over anything more than 3 inches, which is why it's difficult to get kiln dried wood that is thicker than about 3.5 inches thick. Right, Staffordshire Black has said, it's nice to see Staffordshire Black being used delicately. It's brilliant on ash and can go right through to the palest grey to as black as coal. There is an ash video on their YouTube channel. So if anyone wants to pop across to Staffordshire Black on YouTube, it shows how it works.
What I will do after the live, I will put a link to Staffordshire Black in the description, so people can find it easily.
Rob, if you're in my live tomorrow lunchtime, remind me on to show you the ash bowl that I turned around about 4 months ago, and there was a wet piece of ash. Remind me on to show that tomorrow lunchtime or Saturday night if you're in on Saturday night, just to show how much a piece of wood will move as it's drying out. And Gerard's asking Staffordshire Black if they have resellers in Ireland.
swap to the smaller one. Because that is as rough as ours is.
And Staffordshire Black has answered, Gerard, we don't have a reseller in Ireland, but we do post Ireland and everywhere else for that matter.
Fantastic. So we'll quickly sand this up to 400.
Right, Rob's asking, would not all the sealers you use seal in the moisture? What people tend to do, Rob, is if they get some wood wet, because a lot of the wood that I get is actually wet or green, as it's called. What they do is seal the end grain. Sealing the end grain, what that does is actually slows down the drying process, because if the end grain isn't sealed, that's where a lot of the moisture actually gets rid of quickly. That's where it dries out quickest, on the end grain, and that's what causes the cracking. So if you seal the end grain properly, the wood will still dry out, but it will dry out more slowly, so it actually dries out through the long grain, if you like, rather than the end grain. But the likes of the sand and sealers that we use, they're not built for sealing end grain. You actually can get end grain sealers, or you can use the likes of latex paint. You can use watered down PVA glue to seal end grain as well.
So one other thing you can do if using the corporal drive is, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit there that I can't get to sand. What I can do is take it off, place the sandpaper in my hand, sand the top and the bottom, just to get them bits. And pop it back on. Now it's got a hole in it, but we can deal with that later. This is demo piece. So that's 240. We just want to take it up to 400. That was 240 again. What did I do with the 400? There you go. So we're just going to clean all the dirt off that. Again, using the Staffordshire Black, you can clean it with methylated spirits or denatured alcohol. That's a very, very light bit of cherry. All right, let's grab. So what I wanted to do with this piece is just show to you that you don't have to use the tannin juice. You can just go straight on with the ebonising juice. Because cherry's got a high tannin content. That's on the floor. It will work. And again, if you don't get the effect you want, then once this is dried, there's no reason why you can't put.
And Dale's just popped in.
Oh yeah, Dale. Now this hasn't actually made it go that dark yet.
Wayne's asking Rob at Kling Sport if he's in the workshop area himself.
It might
Now,
actually.
I'm not very sure. I thought Rob was down the southwest.
Unplugged it. It might be because this is quite a light bit of cherry. It might be that it needs the tannin solution. Or it could be I've been too tight and not put enough on. I'm just going to give that a minute to dry. And while that's doing that, I'm going to shoot over here and just put the crochet hook together so you can see what that looks like finished.
Right, Staffordshire Black has said, I'd recommend always using the tannin juice on any wood, to be honest, even oak, belt and braces and all that.
There you go. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. Use it on all. I interpreted that wrong. I thought it was only needed for woods that weren't high in tannin content. So even I've learnt something tonight.
Jennifer's just said, it was really nice to meet you at Harrogate Deal. Obviously, she wasn't taking her meds that day.
Make sure I put the right bits on the right end.
Drury's Woodturn has just come in.
Good evening. Let's go for the biggest one.
Is that you just putting the crochet hook together?
Yeah, I'm just putting that together while I was waiting for that to dry. Just so we can show at the end. So let's go back and put some tannin juice on this.
That's starting to turn already.
Yeah. See, that was my mistake. Should have put the tannin juice on.
So Dan is asking Staffordshire Black, how well do you feel Scott has followed your instructions tonight? How do you get put on the spot then?
Hey, it's always good to know. And if I'm doing it wrong, I'd rather be told I'm doing it wrong. Because obviously people are listening to me and I don't want to then tell people wrong. So if I am doing it wrong, constructive criticism is always appreciated. Wayne tells me my turning's rubbish all the time anyway, so, it's no difference.
No, when have I ever said that? Apart from last night and the night before.
And the night before. Right.
Rob has said the whole sealing, finishing thing is such a science. It's been an eye-opener for me. Another thing that people do with their wet wood or green wood, Rob, is that they will double turn it. So they'll turn it once, leave the wall thickness of the bowl, let's say, to a certain thickness, leave it for 6 to 8 months to dry out, and then return it to a finish once it's dried out and warped and everything. And that's the piece that I'm going to show you either tomorrow or Saturday, because I don't think I'm going to be able to return this piece.
What's that from Dal? I can avoid using the TJ.
He can advise against using
tannin
the
juice.
tannin juice to brush your teeth. It didn't end well.
No.
Drury's Woodturn has just ordered the Axminster 406 floor standard lathe. Nice one, Drury. That's the one I've been using for about the last 8 years.
Mark Shop Dog's just ordered one as well, hasn't he? Or just got one?
Yeah, he's just got one. It arrived last week or the week before, I think.
I had a guy come round this morning, so
Brilliant,
I've been selling a few bits of tools because I need to rearrange the workshop. And a guy come round this morning and said, "Oh, I've just started turning." He said, "I've just brought the Axminster Reeve stripe," and I went, "You'll be changing that lathe soon, then."
Yeah.
I went, "Everyone I know that's had it."
I mean, you are. I did have one of the. I had the original one, the original blue M900 for a wee while, and that was. I mean, like I say, I had it for a good few years. It worked for what it did.
Right.
Spider Spid's in, and he's asking a question:
yeah.
What's caused the white ring?
The white ring. That's just the grain of the wood. So I've spread it all over, but it's just the way that it's taken on the grain. Did Staffordshire Black come back to Dan's comment? Have I been using it right?
He hasn't done so far. No.
So if you have got any comments where I could improve, or if I'm doing things wrong, then please do let me know.
Woodturning Barry's just got the status FU 230, similar sort of size, I think, to the 406. Another nice lathe. He did. Oh right. Hang on.
I've been doing it wrong then from that last.
No, he came back with, yeah, I've seen better.
Okay. I will have to watch some more videos. And I'm not letting it dry naturally. I am firing a heat gun at it. Okay. So we're coming up to 20 past. Let's leave that there for a minute. Clear a bit of space. And then I'll show you the results of what we've done tonight with the different techniques.
Staffordshire Black has come back with again. Only kidding. It's good to experiment.
Thank you very much.
And Dan said, "We're only teasing, Princess."
Oh, don't tell everyone my nickname, Dan.
Right. Kevin 9 Creations has said, "Are they super heavy?" This is reverting back to the 406. Yes, it's a heavy lathe. It's a 2-horse motor that's on there. Electronic speed control, reverse, headstock swivels, moves along the bed, everything. It's a super lathe. Like I say, I've used one for the past 8 years or so since the first came out, when it had a different title, and it has not done me wrong at all. And it gets used, well, not every day now, but it used to get used every day. It's brilliant.
Cool. So, this is the crochet hook. I will put pictures up. You can't see the pink in that. That's been done with Ebonising lacquer. The little oak bowl, simple little thing. That was done with the vinegar and wire wool. Excuse me. This is the ash that was done with the Staffordshire Black. That had one coat of each and then a coat of oil. And I really like the colouring on it. It's not gone really, really dark. And then this is the cherry that we've literally just done. It's not totally dry yet. I'll let it dry naturally, give it a coat of oil, and then I'll put pictures up on Instagrams and all the socials tomorrow. But it was just, tonight was just an informative things of way you can ebonise your wood. I hope you've all learned something from it. hopefully next week we'll do something fun and exciting. I wanted to come live tonight, just didn't feel up to doing a massive project. But there will be one of Scott's mad, exciting, wacky projects as a Christmas special at the end of December. So let's just bring Wayne back in. There we go. Thank you very much, Wayne, for this evening. Don't forget, Wayne is live tomorrow lunchtime at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow night is the next Battle of the Makers. Will Wayne and...
Oh, my life, so it is.
I know, see, I saw that before I went live. How are we doing on scores with you and the other team? Are they still winning?
Oh, we're getting hammered. Oh, yes.
Maybe tomorrow night's in luck. And then Saturday will be Saturday morning cartoons, Wayne in the evening, and I think that's it. And then the week starts again with Steve SK on Sunday, and I can't remember after that. For now, I'm going to hit the button. Thank you, everyone that's come in.
Oh, Dremel Makers have got a live on Sunday evening, I think it is. Can't remember what. I think it's 8 o'clock. The Dremel Makers. So if you want to watch something done with the Maker Misfits, if you want to watch something done with Dremel, the YouTube channel is Dremel UK. So pop across, have a look. Kez and Phil from Spirit and Bear are hosting, and I can't remember the name of the guy who was doing the live. But anyway, it'll be a good one.
Mark Peach, is it?
Yeah, it is. That's it.
Yeah. I'm just trying. You go and all remember. Again, I meant to say at the beginning, I totally forgot. Those of you that have been watching Andrew from AGK's premieres that he puts out on a Wednesday night, Andrew, for some reason, is only sitting on 230 subs. So if you're not following Andrew, and I can ask you, please just go over, check out Andrew, because he should be sitting on far more.
AGK Woodworks.
Yeah, there's a link to his channel in the chat. But yeah, he should definitely be sitting on a lot more than 230 subscribers. So please, if you're not already, just go over there, hit that subs, and let's just support each other in the community. It was good to see Pete Twisted Trees hit a milestone today, and Jennifer hit 500 this evening. So excellent. On that note, thank you very much. I shall see you next week, and I'm going to hit the button.